Doing as you always have will only give you the same results. Seek the edge, not an explanation. Its grip on you is you gripping it. Let go of the world. You need the experience, not words. You can't be transformed if you don't go through transformation.
Over 50 million people die each year, most not knowing why they were here. All their effort, learning, wisdom, feelings. You don't need an explanation. Let go of the world.
Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarron again. I want to vent about getting off the internet. I still have connection at work, but I turned it off at home because I'm far, far, far too addicted to using it. Watching too many videos, playing games. There's a tank game I play where I keep getting in arguments with 13-year-olds, which I guess isn't really a great way to spend my life. Figured out how to go down to the service and get it disconnected. It was interesting. It took me a few years to get here because I really do have an internet addiction. And the data of it really wasn't that big of a struggle. I just, detached the modem, took it down to the store, handed it to them, they scanned it, paid the final bill, handed me the receipt, and then I stood there for about 15 seconds kind of going, and then I finally walked out. So that kind of surprised me. The next thing that surprised me is I got some software from, it's called Magix. One is their Video Pro X, and there's like 3 or 4 of them. And they suddenly didn't work because I wasn't connected to the internet, which is odd to me because I licensed them all, and I was told that if I got off the internet, be no problem, they would still keep working, but they didn't. So I contacted customer service, and all I got back was an AI bot talking to me, telling me, tough luck, you have to be online, and they check it every once in a while. So apparently Magix has decided to set it up so I have to spend over $1,000 a year on internet connection in order to use software that I bought. And I used to be able to talk to a human being through email, and now all I get is this bot telling me I can't do what I want to do. I was fortunate in that I have a Windows 11 machine, which was my main internet connection, and a Windows 10 machine, and some of the software that I used on the 11 was on the 10, and for some reason over there they work. They're slower because it's like a Intel 5th generation 4-core in the Windows 10, and on my 11 it's a 12th generation 16-core CPU, so it flies really fast. Plus it's got NVMe drives, and the Windows 10 has a spinner drive, so great difference. But it's kind of ticked me off that I did all the registration and everything and did what I was supposed to, and I still am disconnected. But overall, it looks like maybe I lost use of one software. So that's kind of where that is. I'm really annoyed at Magix, though, that happened. And their customer service just Can't talk to anybody anymore. You got all this money and you can't even get help. But so it goes. It seems to be what the business world wants to do, is get into AIs and totally have to quit dealing with their customer base. Instead of like employing people who want to help their customers, they want to write a script that pretty much is designed to not help you. I will say, though, I have noticed all the rest of my software works, so that's cool. And the one that doesn't work, don't really need it that much. I can operate it without it. But, yeah, it's kind of got me by the nose here. I will say at home, I have a tablet, really old tablet, and my internet addiction is still there, but it's more like a radio over in the corner instead of, I have this monitor that I edit. That's like video on like a 32-inch monitor, so it's quite engrossing. Now it's like this talking box over there in the corner, so it's more like having the radio on. I'm really glad I'm not in the tank game anymore. I was pretty good at it. I was like 6th or 7th in the world on their leaderboard. But having being 71 and not really caring about winning and trying to prove I'm the best and getting into my dick's bigger than your dick arguments. It's kind of weird dealing with that. So it's I feel much calmer in my brain. I'm really glad I got off the internet. I recommend it. Again, I do have access through work. They've agreed to let me, like, when I clock out, I spend about an hour on the internet looking at email and getting stuff done. But it's like this weird mixture at first of this part of me that kept looking for something, like I had to do something. And another part of me is just like, that's very relaxing. The frenetic looking for things part is pretty much done, except there's things like making connections to software and finding the passwords, and there's frenetically trying to get stuff connected to the tablet or through work. But the general experience of turning on my computer and then sitting there for several hours, kind of going click, 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 what's this, click, click. Instead, now it's like I listen to music or I listen to people talking, and if I get bored with them, I just turn it off. And I don't get as engrossed. It's good with an addictive personality to know this. So I'm finding it pretty good. I still have a computer. I'm going to edit these videos on my computer. And then I put them on a flash drive and take them to work and load them up. So I can still do it. But it's nice not to just have this thing, come here, look at us, come here. Also, there's this thing about the way they designed the frequencies of the lights and how quick they flicker and everything. It really causes our brain to look at it. It's like as bad as television. There's some part of the reptile, the limbic brain, that it's always like, what's out there? What's out there? There's something after me. Can I eat it? Can I eat it? What's out there? And it's not just looking for something. It seems to enjoy conflict and danger. It's like, yeah. There's this, I'm 71 and I still have that whole 14-year-old I want to fight thing going in me. It's not overbearing like it was when I was 14, but it's really kind of nice to have it calm. And as I get more into meditation and calm down, become more peaceful, and I open up to the energy of eternity, it's nice to not have this constant, what's this, what's going on there, what's going on there. No, it's not that I'm just disconnected. I mean, Greenland and going into Venezuela, and what is it? I read that in Iran there were all these demonstrations, and then the mullah said, well, shoot them all. And apparently in 2 days, like they're claiming 30,000 people were killed, just machine gunning crowds. It's so wild. So the whole, it kind of goes back to, there's, the mullahs were supposed to represent God or slaughtering people that God tells you to be nice to. It's very weird when I hear people who are Islamic tell me that it's a religion of peace and love, and it's like every Islamic country I see, they seem to be fighting and attacking each other. I don't know if that's a function of Islam or if that's a function of the poverty in the countries, or it's just a cultural background. You read the Bible, it's just all those endless wars. This is the terrain that they're talking about the Bible. It's just this constant wanting to go at it. And I guess, the country I live in, we like to claim we're peaceful and democracy, but I'd say about every 8 or 9 years, the U.S. is like getting into a war with somebody. So it's not like we can talk. At least we haven't had local militias machine gunning 30,000 people down, at least not yet. It's getting kind of tense here. Hopefully we pull back from the brink of that. But, the big thing, part of what this is for me spiritually is the way the imagination, it's like this all-encompassing being in me, like really grabbed my attention. And like people like get really happy. You can go into a movie and experience this non-real thing. And you can get so excited and into it that it almost pisses you off when people interrupt it. Or like, if you're listening to your favorite song and somebody like dares to talk to you. I've gone over to friends who are watching television, like, nobody's talking and they're all just staring at this thing. And I go, so what's up? And they'll go, shh. Like they're annoyed that I'm actually trying to engage in human conversation. But then these mullahs, they're lost in their imagination. They think they speak for God and they can like mow down all these people because those people are not God-fearing. Or maybe it's just the mullahs have all the money and they want to slaughter everybody so they can hold on to it. And they're not really ministers of God at all. Or maybe I don't understand. Maybe God wants people mowed down. That's not my impression. My experience is God kind of has slowly woken me up from my imagination and gotten me here. And become more peaceful and calm. That's the big thing. I kept thinking I had to get away. I had to escape. I had to go from here to there. There was, this is all a mirage, and the real world is somewhere else. But that was just that part of my being that was talking to me, and it basically, the more I calmed down, the more I quieted my inner imagination, the more I got here, until one day it just kind of went, its predominance went quiet. I mean, I still imagine things, and I still get caught up in it, but it's the great big overriding, my way, this is what I understand, you have to do it my way sort of thing. That's gone. Now I sit here and people argue with me, and I'm just kind of like, well, there's this way and there's this way. And I think I also realized that studying the Bible and trying to come to the right interpretation of what the words mean kind of misses that the words represent life. They represent it. They're actually life. And actually, who's his name? There's also James Darby. He was a Scottish person who kind of popularized this whole, well, I'll find this passage that supports what I believe, and I'll support this passage of what I believe from there, and I'll grab that over there, and that all proves my way is the right understanding. You start worshiping my God instead of getting outside of your imagination and your personality and trying to connect with the real God. Which, when you come down to it in Hebrew, See, like I say God, which is actually, people sit there and say, well, you got to use the right word, except God is an English version of a German word, Gott. In Spanish, it's Dios, and all these other languages are different words. So that's not really God's name. It's not really just a representation again, yet people will get into their imagination feeling and like have these vicious arguments. And I've seen people like hitting each other over their internal discussion of what God is. And to me, that's the very thing that keeps you from being able to see God, because it's got you completely ensnared in your own self. But I keep telling you need to be selfless without a self, which means you have to surrender everything. You actually have to surrender what you believe God to be in order to bump into the real thing. But anyway, that had a lot to do with me letting go of the internet, because I did keep getting dragged into these fights and arguments and things like this on the various YouTubes and Facebooks and stuff, and watching and getting all worried up about all this stuff. And I realized that it wasn't doing any good. I mean, they're all the same, all these talking heads from various different angles, those people are not telling you the truth and they're hiding something from you. And we're going to tell you the truth and you need to be afraid of them, and they're trying to destroy the country. And I'm the one who's trying to save it. It's all the same. All the various political, it's all the same machine on all these channels. That's why I try to be a human being here instead of, be a machine who's trying to raise money and make money and be an influencer. All that's just going to, in the end, die and pass away. The real question is, can I get here and be with the one who is? So I quit living in an internet world, and now I'm becoming more here. Okay then. I appreciate it. If you like this, please subscribe and give a thumbs up. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I appreciate those of you who do. Again, I've got my a bit twisted merchandise out there. I'm also putting out into the Film Freeway system my movie Mysteries of Whisper, and I'm going to start approaching synagogues and churches and meditation centers about looking at it, and hopefully somebody wants to see it. I'm hoping this is valuable. I am starting to really get that something astonishing happened to me. Having been mean, vindictive, spiteful, self-loathing, whatever you can think of, just suddenly woken up to being calm and light. It's pretty spectacular. It reminds me of one of the lines, it's like around Ephesians 10 or so by St. Paul, where he says, "You were darkness, but now you're light." It doesn't say of darkness or in darkness or of light or in light. It's like, you were darkness, and now you are light. And that's what I feel. I used to be a very unfriendly person, and now I just, I sit around and tell jokes, and I'm friendly, and I'm happy with people. It's really great. Anyway, so I'm doing that, doing well, I mean. Magic is annoying me, but I'm not going to spend too much more time on it. And, yeah, that's it. Till next time. dsmccarron.com. Come check it out. Please share it. There's a lot of stuff on there. I'm going to be adding my music. There's some games I've developed. There's already stuff there about my web series, and teaching how to play guitar. So contact me, and I'll hope to see you next time. And if you want to send in some donations through the website, that's cool. But as I always say, if you know somebody who's poor and needs help in the neighborhood, help them out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.